Tell me a little bit about Seth's Dominion.
Well, Sets Dominion is quite simply the best film ever made, and the most amazing, fantastic film that everybody should see at the cinema in its full glory. It's better than anything you could have ever seen in your life. So yeah, that's about it. I'm humble and modest.
Libra.
Yeah, Libra.
I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at the National Film Board in downtown Toronto with filmmaker Luc Chamberland. How does it feel to have your film, Seth's Dominion, screening at hotDOCS?
Oh wow, having any f- any filmmaker who had the opportunity to get his film at hotDOCS is, I think, feel extremely grateful and lucky. It's an honor. It's one of the biggest documentary festival in the world, and if you are in the catalog, you're just like, oh my god. So people did notice the film. So no, I feel extremely lucky, and it's going to play at the cinema. So the film has to be seen at the cinema, and this is an amazing opportunity for people to do that because you treat yourself of the real experience when you look at it on your little laptop or a little TV. You want to see it on a giant screen with all the music and the sound. I had 32 musicians for the music. We really did an amazing soundtrack to create this kind of bubble of emotion and environment, so people are just like taken. And then at the end of the film, release, okay, you can go back to your life. You say, oh my God, it's already finished. So,
Okay, bye. And Seth is such a talented artist and an interesting character. Tell me a little bit about how the two of you met and how you were introduced to his work.
um, I worked in London, England, for 15 years. I was directing commercials, etc., etc. I worked for Spielberg, DreamWorks. It was great experience. London was brilliant. But I really like European comics. I grew up with that. I was reading Le Journal Spirou, was a weekly magazine of comics. The European do that. So this magazine has been going on for 75 years. But I was reading that. But in London, I couldn't get European comics easily. It was difficult. So I was rooming all the comic store and trying to find material to read, or European, or I like American is fun, and British interesting comic books. Because I wanted my fix of European comic, and I find this book. It's a Good Life You Don't Weaken. The graphic is beautiful. It's very European. I was like, this is nice. Wow. So I bought this book, and then I started to read, and I was like, oh my God, one of the best books I ever read in my life. Wow. Who's this guy? This guy's called Seth. Okay, an American. No, he's not American. He's Canadian. Huh? So this is how I discovered his work, and I was very. I became a fan. I just started to try to buy everything that he did, and not knowing that one day I might annoy him with a camera on his face. And then I was back in Montreal. Now it's 8 years, but he did a conference in Montreal. It was organized by Drawing Quarterly, his publisher, who's probably the best publishing comic book company in the world. Um, just an evening like that, he was doing a conference about other comic book artists. He talked about all those famous, like Harvey Kurtzman, Peter Arno, Harriman, all these guy who worked all their life and they put all their energy in that art form that was not taken seriously, but they were taking it seriously. And the more was talking tenderly with all about all the career of these guys, and at the same time talking frankly about their shortcomings. You know, it was very good lecture. I started to think, yeah, but what about him? That's interesting. So he was talking about other people, but talking about himself as a proxy. So I got the idea as he was doing the conference that maybe I could do a film with him. That's interesting. Then I approached him and I said something like, I'm a filmmaker, I would like to do a documentary. It would be maybe a mix between documentary and animation, not realizing what I was saying. I think I was just like, well, in what kind of trouble am I going to get myself? And that's we had a conversation and it went on, and he said yes.
And in the film, there's a real theme of nostalgia for Seth and his work. And he talks about sort of being trapped in the present and being, the past constantly growing behind you. Can you tell me a little bit about that theme and maybe a bit why that interested you as well?
Um, in the you know directing commercials and all that, it's your everything is flash and explosion and quick and wow, and there's no time to sit down and have a contemplative moment, or trying to see poetry in a spot on the carpet, or in the earring of somebody, or in the face of the cameraman. And this life is full of a magical moment that you should be looking at. And in doing commercial, I don't have time to do that. And doing commercial films, it's difficult to bring that on. And I was discovering that in his work, and that's what I would like to do. So I had the opportunity, thanks to Seth and his confidence, to take his work and make it more contemplative, or a celebration of realizing that life, every little moment, are magical and could be a lot more than just, if it's the difference between just seeing and looking. You see there's a bag there, but looking is, oh, the bag is in leather and a bit of cotton, and there's some pattern on it, and it's dark green, that's white, and oh, there's stitches there, and there's the.
You make my bag sound so good. I love it.
But it's the eyes. I mean, I'm not a voyeur, but I like to look at things, and they talk to me, and it gets me. I, life is beautiful, and it's beautiful to see everywhere. And I think using, having the opportunity of taking the work of Seth and enhance it, and specifically, he still have a diary that is not published, and it's grow up to be maybe 15 books that he kept at home and about his life in comic book form. So I took the diary and I put them in animation so people can actually have a inner conversation with him. Because just having talking heads like me right now, it's nice and dairy and fun. But if we cut this conversation, suddenly we have you in animation. We're floating in space. I'm having my suit, and you're having a suit too. There's a shower, a meteor shower to look at. Oh, this is beautiful, and we come back. This interview suddenly becomes, wow, that's amazing, and I have the opportunity to bring the work of Seth more closer to everybody who looked at the film, because I think of the power of the animation.
And what does Seth think of the film? Think of seeing himself, on camera in this wonderful, piece honoring his work and his lifetime achievements.
It it is a film about dedication to his art, or his work. But I could have, make a film, I think, with a taxi driver. Probably would have been really fascinating. They have amazing lives. They meet so many people, and they become, some of them become psychiatrists. They always meet people and they try to help them and so on. But I did it with a comic book artist, and at the same time, I wanted to honor his work, and I want to celebrate life in general. That when you see this film, you want to go, wow, life is sweet, life is amazing. And I was very nervous. I never been nervous in my life like that until I had to show him the film. And it's great because he could have hated it. But no, the film was finished. It was like, wow, I can't believe now. I just want to go back to the drawing board and draw more. So I kind of give him a little bit of a more energy. So that for me, that's the best compliment. Yeah.
And where's the best place for us to find out more information on you and the film online?
We have to go to the NFB site. You can see some extract of the film, and but the best way is to go to the amazing hotDOCS Film Festival and to see at the three different venue where it's going to be showed at three theater, at the cinema, on the giant screen, with the music, the sound, and the glory animation of the giant screen. Yes.
Great. Well, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you to have me. It was brilliant.
Thank you.
Cheers.
I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at the National Film Board in downtown Toronto.